On today's Live Daily News, an armed fugitive wanted for organized crime was arrested in Bentwood. We'll have details. A San Angelo man has been taken into custody to begin a prison sentence for manslaughter. We'll have details. And we'll have an update from the Concho Valley Paws on those dogs facing euthanasia Saturday. I'm Yantis Green, and this is Live. We'll have those stories in just a minute, but first, need a new or improved driveway? How's your parking lot or ranch road? Now's the time to get it repaved. San Angelo-based Mac Asphalt and Paving is ready to get to work for you right now. Go to macasphaltpaving.com and request a free, no-obligation quote. They're offering heavily discounted repaving and paving packages right now. If you've been thinking about paving your driveway, parking lot, or ranch road, get a quick turnaround quote while you can save a lot. Do so by going to macasphaltpaving.com. In news, an armed fugitive wanted for organized crime was captured in Bentwood Wednesday night. According to the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office, Frankie Wright was the final target of an organized crime ring. He was armed when he was arrested. Wright has been charged with evading arrest, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon, and theft charges. Read that whole story on sanangelolive.com. Also, a San Angelo man began his time behind bars Wednesday after pleading guilty to a manslaughter charge, as we reported first this morning. 22-year-old Mason E. Fulton pleaded guilty in district court to shooting a friend in the back in 2022. In exchange for his guilty plea, Fulton was sentenced to 8 years in state prison. Read more on sanangelolive.com or download the all-new San Angelo Live mobile app. That's on fire right now. People are downloading it right and left, and you need to get yours today. Now available at the Apple App Store, all iPhone users can have all the latest news stories delivered directly to their phones. The Android app will be available soon, so stay tuned and keep checking the Google Play Store for that. That's the all-new San Angelo Live mobile app. Make sure and get it now. And Matt Cottrell sits down with Aubrey and Alex Trufant for a detailed interview about their tattoo business and the 15th annual West Texas Tattoo Convention coming to San Angelo this month. The West Texas Tattoo Convention brings some of the world's best tattoo artists to San Angelo for the three-day convention, February 23rd through the 25th at the San Angelo Coliseum. Read Matt's great interview only on sanangelolive.com. And the San Angelo Animal Shelter says there are now 13 dogs facing euthanasia Saturday after 3 were adopted Wednesday. Concho Valley Paws and the Animal Shelter are desperately looking for foster homes or adoptive families for the 13 dogs before Saturday's deadline. Those dogs will be killed Saturday if they don't find homes in the next few days. Turning to weather, rain chances return Friday afternoon to the Concho Valley with a 30% chance, increasing to 60% Friday night region-wide. The rain chances move out of the area Saturday, and windy conditions will dominate the region. Winds will be westerly at 25 to 35 miles per hour with gusts to 40 miles per hour Saturday, and Sunday temperatures will be seasonal. And yes, you'll eventually read all these stories on other local news sites, but they'll have to come here first to read them just like you are. So stay with us. We'll have sports with Ryan and James as they discuss the realignment of football teams in the Concho Valley, and then an interview with San Angelo's Case Hardin. But first, here's a word from the Bass Bunch.
2024 means savings galore at Jim Bass Nissan. Why not drive off our lot in a new 2024 Nissan Frontier, priced right at just $33,999. While you're here, be sure to ask about 2.9% APR financing. This truck offers a mid-size truck with full-size truck capabilities. Hurry, these are limited offers, and you can only get these deals at Jim Bass Nissan at the corner of Houston Hart at Hardin Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
Welcome, everybody. This is a special edition to Cover One for the UIL realignment. Every 2 years, they get together and realign the districts based off enrollment, and we have some big changes in the Concho Valley. Before we get into it, though, my partner in crime, Ryan Chadwick.
It's important to note that we're also only talking football today.
Yes.
I know that some of this realignment has also affected volleyball and basketball district matchups, but today we are only talking about football because there are so many big changes.
Right, and we'll cover basketball tomorrow on our regular Cover 1 program. But let's just start with the six-man schools. Obviously, a big one. Water Valley moved back down, and they have fantastic facilities out there. What do we think of that one? That is Erie County, Paint Rock, Robert Lee Very Best, and Water Valley. What do we think about that, Ryan?
I think it's kind of a big deal because they've been playing 11-man the last 2 years, and like while they have been they've been competitive, they really haven't threatened to win their old district they're in. They're within some pretty decent schools, And
Yeah,
so,
back when they were six-man though, they were like competing for deep in the playoffs.
Exactly.
They're competing for state.
And so I would love to see them return to that. It's going to be interesting to see how the athletes respond moving back down to six-man. But like Water Valley's been there before, and hey, the Concho Valley is really good at winning six-man state championships. So maybe we'll get another one.
Absolutely. That next district is Nueces Canyon, Eden, Lakey, Medina, and Menard. Obviously, Eden and Menard. Concho Valley, not much of a change there. Then moving into 11-man football, the big 2A schools. Reagan County, Cristobal, Colorado City, Forsan, Ozona, and Sonora. That pretty much stayed the same.
I think they added Colorado City.
I think they added Colorado City, but that pretty much stayed
consistent.
We know who's going to be the Sonora is going to be good. Watch out for Ozona next year, man. They could be really good too.
I like
Cristobal.
Sonora, Ozona, and Reagan County. Next season, Forsan always brings a good squad. But,
Forsan is always.
Yeah, but I do think that Ozona's bringing up a team, just like you said.
Yeah, they had a young quarterback last year, Hudson Fowler. He threw for 2,000 yards this past season. He's really really good.
Next up,
more change here, big changes here.
One of the big changes, yes. The Ballinger Bearcats, who were in the Wallhawks and TLCA Eagles district a year ago, is dropping down to 2A, the big school 2A. They are with Bangs, Coleman, De Leon, Hamilton, and how do you say that? Hico? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Whoever goes to school there, I don't know how to pronounce that. But the Ballinger Bearcats, this is big news for the Bearcats. Like they started to get a little bit more competitive in this second year, and I know that
injuries
were
a big deal though.
Yeah, that Coach Lang knows what he's doing out there, and injuries have kind of bitten them. But this will really give them a chance to compete for a district championship and maybe even a deep playoff run. This could be the next Sonora that's coming up. What do you think about it, James?
Oh, I think so. Obviously, injuries were a big deal up there. I know they had some kids move out, and they competing there, just in that area. Coleman and Bangs competing in that area. That'll be good for them. Moving on to Mason's district, they have Harper, Holland, Johnson City, San Saba, Thorndale, and Mason. That should be a pretty competitive one too. But Mason is obviously should be top of the class.
Yeah, I think
they've
still
won
favored,
13 district titles in a row or something crazy like that. Michael McLeod has those guys ready all the time. Next, we're going down to small 2A, Ryan.
This one is going to be the exact same district as last year, except we're adding one member. It's going to be El Dorado, Ira Ann, McCamey, Sterling City, Wink, and newcomer Van Horn.
Van Horn, yeah, they were six-man. They were six-man for a while, and now they're back to 11-man out there in the desert.
Yeah, and I really like this district too because Wink, McCamey, Sterling City, and El Dorado always battle it out. I still think that Sterling City has the advantage out there with Coach Cisco and his boys, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe keep the spread out of it. Sorry. Next district: Albany, Miles, Roscoe, Winters, Cross Plains, and Hamlin. That stays the same.
I'm pretty sure they're adding Winters and Cross Plains.
No, I think they were in their district last year. So. Albany, of course, they won 2 back-to-back state titles. They weren't. No. I thought they were.
They played each other last year, but it was non-district. Winters for sure. I know Winters is a newcomer in that one.
Okay. Then again, that's in that area though. You would expect them to kind of all be
right. It's
together.
Nice when these schools right next to each other actually play each other, and they don't have to travel across the state.
See, when I was in high school, we played El Dorado and Erie County, and it was all real tight together. And then as soon as I left, they end up playing Anthony way out on the other side of El
James,
Paso.
I hear you. I was a
So-
part of a 10-team district when I was in high school. Like all the current Little Southwest Conference, plus Lubbock Coronado, Lubbock Monterey, Lubbock High, Amarillo Tascosa, and Amarillo High, right? So we were going to Lubbock twice a year and Amarillo at least once a year.
Yeah, so seeing these schools that are all kind of grouped together, that makes travel easier for these, fans can go out more and make it more of a, high school football setting. All right, now big changes here. Big school 3A, Breckenridge, Clyde, Comanche, TLCA San Angelo, Sweetwater, and Tuscola Jim Ned. Let's talk about this one. This is a big one.
Oof. All I got to say is TLCA, if you are not up to the challenge, you better get ready quickly. There are 2, almost 3 state-ranked teams already in that district, and I could see the potential of having 3 state-ranked teams in the preseason heading into next year. Comanche and Jim Ned are always powerhouses, and we know Sweetwater can play some football. So, TLCA, I know you've been making giant strides in your football program. You're going to have to make another one.
And we are pushing for Masters here, man. He did great for those kids last year. He did great for those kids.
Especially with everything that went on, Coach Masters really brought those guys together, and they had a successful year, made the playoffs. I had no complaints. They were the only team in San Angelo that made the playoffs.
With all those distractions, it was, the fact that he could group them together, that is some of the best coaching out there that, you can ask for under those situations. But Matt Fanning has Jim Ned like on the best 5-year streak they've had. They're very, very good. Sweetwater had a freshman quarterback last year, and that's exciting for those guys. Clyde, of course, I think won that district. I think they were 5-0. Comanche still has that running back, Sawyer Wilkerson. He's a senior this year, or he'll be a senior going into this next season. Great, yeah.
And we
so they have a whole bunch of
Yeah, I was gonna say we covered a lot of Brady Bulldogs, and that's Comanche's rivals, and that game wasn't even competitive. So
they
are just reloading, and so I guess it's one of those. We'll see how it goes, but TLCA definitely has the work cut out for them.
All right, moving on to small school 3A. Coahoma, Merkel, Odessa Compass Academy, Grape Creek, Stanton, and Wall. Wall's going to look different next year. We know that. Grape Creek is in there. Coahoma's in there. What do we think about that one?
I mean, I think, obviously this is a big change to Great Creek and Wall's district from a year ago. You lost Ballinger, you lost TLCA, and you've replaced them with Odessa Compass Academy, Merkel, and Coahoma, right? Merkel and Coahoma already play basketball with these guys with the addition
So
of
they should have
Jim
some
Nedge,
familiarity with some of these kids.
Yeah, but I know it's different because it's football. I still say this is Wall's district to lose, even with the loss of Coach Guy out there. But Odessa Compass Academy lost to TLCA a season ago, and it really seems like they're on the up and up, moving into 3A now. But like I said, Wall, depending on who gets the job, Wall's gonna be ready to play. I don't even know what their offense or defense is gonna look like next year, just depending on the coaches. But they have some athletes out there, and they can definitely compete at the small school 3A level.
Yeah, they get there. Two of the four horsemen have graduated, but we'll find 2 more. They still have Brylan White, Ethan Mickelwitz.
Still got Gunnar Dillard, Luke Kemp.
Dillard, yep. Hagen Barbie,
yep.
You still have a bunch of athletes out there, and if everything were to go according to plan, I think Slaughter would be their defensive guy. They love playing for him. He's a great defensive guy. We've had him in studio. He's great, so we would love to see that. Moving on, though, to District 5, Brady, Clifton, Dublin, Early, Eastland, and Toller moved up. They were big school 2A last year, and they had a coaching change. I think they still have Peyton Brown for a running back. Brady, of course, new coach this past year, Jaron Roberts, your guy. Villegas took over as AD out there, and we covered a lot of Brady, and they showed great improvements. Their defense was great. They have a pretty young core, so they should definitely take that next step this next year. Early's in there too.
Yeah, biggest thing I liked from Brady last season is Coach Roberts demanded discipline, and when he didn't get it, he let his players know. He's like, well, it's like you're going to do it the Brady way or you're not going to play, right? And so he's really building a program out there, And, of course, Early was also in Wall's district last year. They both leave. I don't know if it's a sense of, okay, these schools are closer together. Let's group them now that we're going to add an Odessa school to the old district. But, they completely, nuked what was Wall and TLCA and Great Creek's district last year, and now Early and Brady are playing in District 5. And again, I know Toller moved up, but Boys, that's
Don't count
that's
the
a
Rattlers
state,
out, man.
That's a state runner-up right there.
Yeah, they were right there with Stratford. So, all right, now we're moving back into the San Angelo schools, District 4 1A, Andrews, Big Spring, Pecos, and Lakeview. It's a 4-team district. What do we think of that? Moving Brownwood out.
Like Brownwood and Estacado are out. I know Estacado moved up to 5A. Do you know the details behind Brownwood? Like why did they leave?
I love the Brownwood defensive coordinator. I've been around the younger group out there. They're going to be going into as a freshman group. They are going to be extremely competitive. I've been around some of those parents too. They all get it. If they can keep that core together, ooh, man, we could see Brownwood. We could see Brownwood and be incredible over these next few years.
One thing that I don't like, though, is I do not like 4-team districts in high school football, period. And I know some of that has to do with the region of the state where it's at, but no one likes automatic playoff bids. But hey, like, that's great for the Lakeview Chiefs, like they're going to make the playoffs next year, and anything can happen once you get in there. But I would like to see a little bit bigger of a district. I think 5 or 6 teams is perfect for that. But hey, you're adding in Pecos. That's a very winnable game for the Chiefs. And they challenged Big Spring last year incredibly well. And like, I know they got some work to do before they can take down a school like Andrews. But hey, Coach Guevara and the Chiefs might be competing for a district championship pretty soon.
Yep, absolutely. Moving on to the Little Southwest Conference. Ryan, take this one, man.
Well, the Little Southwest Conference District 26A is receiving 0 changes. No surprises here, guys. It's one of the best regionally matched up districts in all of 6A. It's basically the powerhouses of West Texas just battling it out every year. Neither one of the Amarillo schools moved up. No other Lubbock school moved up. I know Lubbock Cooper is on the precipice, so we might be losing friendship here in the next couple of years. But Odessa Permian, Odessa High, Midland Legacy, Midland High, and San Angelo Central will be playing each other for the foreseeable future. And like I said, there's no real surprise there. District 26A remains the same.
Still don't have a coach.
Still don't have a coach.
We're looking for a Bobcat coach.
But we might have a Bobcat coach soon.
Yep, I heard rumors that there was some guy coming out of Houston, possibly.
I'm hearing multiple conflicting rumors right now, but I will say that we will have news on that here shortly. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but very soon.
All right, man. Were there any other surprises that you saw when you were looking at the realignment? We know Brock moved up.
Yep, Brock moved up.
We all know Brock. Billy Mathis is incredibly blessed. He knows he's blessed out there with great athletes and great kids. But we talked about it the other day about how beating these Metroplex schools is tough. And even for Brock, it turned into, them and Malakoff, they lost. They went to 2 straight titles and then lost in the final round last year. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, what we, were anybody surprise you? Anything kind of stick out to you, Ryan?
I mean, just speaking of Brock, like, they've been pretty much the kings of Big School 3A for a while, and they never quite won that state title, but they're far enough removed from the Metroplex we can't really call them a Metroplex school, and Coach Mathis always had them ready to compete. So like, it's going to be interesting to see how well they do at the 4A level now, because the bigger you get, the tougher that competition is. So we'll really truly find out how good those athletes out in Brock are.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, this has been our Cover One special about realignment. Stay tuned for tomorrow where we talk about basketball. We're going to talk about the games we're going out to, all that good stuff. We will see you guys later.
So we were on vacation, family vacation, having a good time, and we get the call.
I mean, it was a river. It was a river in our house. That's the big thing, is we kept wondering, how bad is it?
It was devastating. I was like numb. It's like, how are we going to handle all this? What are we going to do? And they called Carpet Tech, and they were here within 20 minutes. One of my questions was, yes, it needs to happen, but how does it need to happen for the insurance? That was all handled, and so that was another load off of my shoulders and made me feel like we were in good hands.
If you have been injured, call J. Chandler Law. You want an honest partner who will tell it to you straight. A proven advocate right here in town. Together, let's hold them accountable.
Hello, I'm Joe Hyde, the publisher of San Angelo Live. And, you know, for the past, I don't know, ever since the beginning of the year, it seems like all we talk about in online is politics and the division and civil war and things and fighting each other. But there's one thing that brings everyone together, and that's, I think, the arts and music. And here in San Angelo, we are one of the big stops on what I consider the northern routing of the Texas country music circuit. And who else better to talk to about the state of Texas country music than my guest today, Mr. Case Hardin, the San Angelo crooner. Anyway, he's a Texas country music artist. You've been doing this for, what, a half a decade?
Oh, absolutely. And I've been doing it since my heyday in college. And some of those days I don't remember as well as others. But I just love what I do, getting out there playing Texas country music. And the fact that I'm able to play on this Texas circuit with so many other great artists, it really means the world. So been playing at it for a while now, and I'm going to be playing for many years to come.
So you still look relatively young to me, so I would say half a decade. But this has been a dream of yours. Your other dream is to become an attorney. So.
That's right. I went to law school. Yeah, quite the change. So I went to pre-law school and was thinking about going and getting my law license. And then, of course, music kind of happened, and I thought, well, I don't want to be that 40-year-old guy, 50-year-old guy that thinks, well, could I have made it, you know? And so well, we're doing so well musically that I don't want to change anything right now. So
well, in Nashville, which is a very bad thing to say when you're talking about Texas country music, there's a chart called the CDX Traction Texas Chart.
That's right.
And right now you have another single that's kind of rising up. I guess you're number, 11 or so?
Number 12 on the chart. Yes, sir.
Number 12 on the chart. So tell me about, the game. What's the game like to be a Texas country music artist trying to get your music out there and rise up that chart?
It is. You couldn't have said it any better. That's exactly how I see it. It's a livelihood, but it's also a little bit of a game. And so being able to get out there and you got to have good people that work around you, like a radio promoter, and you got to have a good distributing company, and you got to have good management and good booking. So being able to have those good executives around you, it really means the world. And sponsors, I couldn't do it without our sponsors.
Who are your sponsors?
Sponsors at Sug Switch, Vexel, and are also our sponsors at Hio Silver. And we've been very blessed and we've been supported by great companies over the years. But without those three main ones right there, we couldn't be able to be doing what we do today.
Well, we follow the Texas music scene here in San Angelo locally. We hadn't seen you in a while. I think there was like an ASU thing you were at, but I guess you've been on the road.
That's right.
You've been on the road a lot of places. Kind of tell me where a Texas country artist would tour in 2024. Where is it taking you?
Well, we got into Green Hall last year, which was big post-COVID. Because
and of course, Green Hall is over there by New Braunfels, and it's kind of like the storied dance hall.
That's right, the Texas Dance Hall. We got to play in there, and post-COVID, that was huge. And we've been doing a lot with Corey Morrow and doing a lot with Josh Ward. So
are you opening for those shows?
Absolutely. And getting to play around with them, it's almost like a tour, like a national headlining act tour, and you follow them around and go to different places, which I love. And
so where have you been? Have you been to like Shreveport? I mean, an Indian casino in Oklahoma? I mean, give me an idea what kind of places you go to.
That's right. And talking about casinos, we've been to Hard Rock in Tulsa, and we've been to Green Hall, been to Tannehill's in Fort Worth, been doing some stuff at Billy Bob's, and we're also down south going to Houston, play the Houston Rodeo here in a few weeks.
You're gonna play it?
We're gonna be playing in Houston.
Is it kind of like San Angelo's Rodeo where they stick you in a corner and call it the dance hall or whatever, the beer barn?
The beer barn, yeah, Buffalo Social Club.
Yeah, there you go, Buffalo Social Club. So you playing at the beer barn, or you playing on the big stage?
Oh well, we're playing. So the cool thing about all these rodeos, San Antonio, Fort Worth, and Houston, Austin, is they have the big stage inside, and then they also have the big stage outside. And then they have some smaller stages for acoustic acts and things. Mm-hmm. And so the Texas country groups they have a huge stage outside, and it's before and after the rodeo performance. And so I think we're playing in Houston the same night that Hardy is. So we kind of got like a Hardin thing going on. You know?
Oh, I got you. Hardin.
But it's a lot of fun.
But don't you wish you were playing opposite Taylor Swift?
Oh, I tell you, I've been working on my Taylor Swift repertoire here.
Have you
lately.
really? You can play some Taylor Swift?
But we won't. I mean, it's
No.
yeah. It's
No. Just not manly.
no. I don't know. Travis Kelce kind of got me into it here lately. So,
Oh, is that right? Well, I heard that Taylor Swift is actually a psych op by the CIA and the Pentagon.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Now I know. So.
Right. So be careful if you start. Don't play her songs backwards, whatever you do. You remember? I don't know if you remember this back in the 70s,
right.
Late 70s, early 80s. They would say if you played like "Stairway to Heaven" backwards, it had like these lyrics about worshiping the devil. You know, that's back when we had phonographs. Turntables.
So believe it or not, my guitar player, band leader, and I'm gonna out him, Michael Martin. He is he's a big conspiracy guy. He absolutely and so there's a Beatles album that he says the same thing. You know, if you spin it backwards, that it'll tell you that Paul McCartney actually died in a car crash, and that's first I've heard of it. But hey,
your generation, you need to learn about these things. You can be careful because it's out there.
See, if he believes it, I believe it. I don't know anything about it, but
anyway, back to this the music business. Obviously, COVID changed the music business a lot.
Sure.
And I'll just give you if you don't mind, I'll give you a little bit of a synopsis here in San Angelo. Of course, we had the Blaine's Picnics in the 2000s, which brought about kind of like that. I would say it was probably the third. If you're looking back to the 1930s with Will Rogers and that kind of stuff, all the way up through Ernest Tubb and things. So we were, and I would say the second generation was probably the Willie Nelson, T. Gosney Thornton, who's
Sure.
local here.
Yeah.
In the 70s, that was the second generation. And your third generation was kind of kicked off by Pat Green.
Right.
This is the third generation of Texas country music, where he was going around campuses in the 90s with the truckload or the trunk. In this trunk, he carried cassette tapes.
Oh.
And he would pass them out. But that's how Pat Green made it. And then, so in that generation, kind of culminate in the 2000s with your Randy Rogers band, Brandon Ryder, Wade Bowen, and they would come here and play the Blaine's Picnics.
Sure.
Right. And I remember working the first concert I worked was 2007. We're lucky to get at this point they'd taken away BYOB at the River Stage, so it was, you had to buy it from the concessionaire, and there was a real question about can you attract the audience. We had 12 bands over 12 hours. It was sponsored by Blaine's. They paid for it basically.
Right.
And I remember that's when I met all these guys. And then I ended up doing the Lone Star Music Fest with Cody Baker in 2008, 2009. And we always struggled to get the crowd over 3,000 people.
Sure.
And so people just kind of died out. In about 2010, people weren't trying to make big shows. But in 2016, the guy down there, the Roadhouse Tickets guy down in Comfort, Texas.
Oh, sure.
He came here, and he booked Cody Johnson.
Right.
And I'm an old guy. I don't listen to my Spotify enough, I guess. But I didn't know who Cody Johnson was until I saw him. But,
sure.
But man, we sold 4,000, 5,000 tickets.
That's right.
It was a big one. And then it's kind of like music was back.
That's right.
And it culminated, I think, with the Co Wetzel show. He was here with Reed Southall and Parker McCollum. They came together. Co Wetzel's kind of like the highlight or the headliner of that thing. But we had over 6,000 people in the River Stage.
I remember that.
And then we thought, well, we're back. We can start. San Angelo is a music-friendly city, and
right.
Let's take a leadership role in it. That's what we were thinking at the chamber and things. And then all of a sudden, COVID hits.
That's right.
And everything changed. Everything changed. So today, when I hear about Texas country music, I hear about Hanks and McKinney closing.
Right.
I hear about the stockyards in Fort Worth. You got bars that are closing there, storied bars that are closing. Even here, we don't see our bars booking bands like they used to.
That's right.
I mean, I work with the Penny, I work with Blaine's. They don't book as many bands as they did in 2019.
That's true.
So,
and I know that for a fact, we in talking to several different club owners that since COVID, there was a huge resurgence of audiences that would come out and see shows. But at the same time, it was unexplainable that they just started dwindling those numbers, even for huge acts that are now signed by Nashville recording labels, record labels. And so those shows and numbers just started to dwindle. And especially in small towns, which is crazy to me, because a small town, you would think that's all there is to do.
It's kind of like high school football. What else are you going to do?
That's
high School
right.
football. And I see in high school football, we cover all these high school football games. You go to a high school football game in DFW and the stadium's empty on a home game. The only stadium that really fills itself is Odessa, Permian, and us. I mean, that's serious.
Right.
I mean, even in Lubbock, it's tough to see. It's rare to see a full stadium. Maybe at Friendship. But I mean, like I said, it's changed. I think Netflix and the home options are probably the biggest competitor to going out.
And I can see that. And of course, with your streaming numbers, a lot of what you do now, it's all online. And the virtual aspect of when COVID was around, a lot of guys were doing virtual concerts, which that was a huge deal.
Right.
But
Could you really make any money doing a virtual concert? I mean, I would watch them and they go, I got a tip jar. You just click this button. I'm like, I'm going to give you like 25 cents. Well, if you donate another $10, I'll play your favorite song.
I was never brave enough to try it. I don't know if I could really. I think for that reason, I don't want to disappoint myself. So that's what it comes down to. But another thing is nowadays ticket prices is
Right.
If with the way the increase in pricing of how everything is right now, ticket prices are going up just to meet the demand of the cost of living, which that's no fault of the artist. It's no fault of the venue. But I know for a fact ticket prices have a huge role in what people can afford now. It's more of a luxury to go to a country music concert, and food on the table is something that you absolutely need to have. So I get it at this point in time, but I hope there's a change soon.
Flores Country Store, or is it Flores Country Store there in Helotes?
That's right.
I was there maybe a year ago. Beer was $10. I'm like, just to get a buzz is going to cost me $35.
That's right. That's right. I tell you, back in college, I would find all those nickel and dime shot places. So they. But that's the thing. You don't see any of that anymore. So
Right.
it's the times we're living in.
All right. So another thing that I've noticed about music, my daughter got married a couple of years ago, and of course I had always told her growing up that the only thing that you're going to get from me for your wedding is whatever the budget would be to rent the VFW hall and a keg of beer. Right?
Hey.
And so she kept true to her promise, and we rented the Knights of Columbus Hall in Schulenburg at one of those painted churches.
Yeah.
And it would cost just as much as a VFW hall. And then she said, well, Dad, what are you going to do about the bar? I said, what do you mean the bar? Well, you mean the keg of beer? And she goes, yes. So anyway, I ended up buying, I went to the base. I'm retired military, so I went to the Class 6 store on base here at Goodfellow, and I bought $1,100 worth of beer and wine.
Shoot.
Anyway,
yeah.
So I set up my own bar there. But anyway, and I splurged. I hired a DJ. I wanted to hire a band, but
Sure.
But I hired a DJ, and I was over there, since I hired a DJ, and I'm trying to make sure my daughter's wedding's going great.
Sure.
Shout out to Shelby Bem now, Shelby and Jerry. I wanted to make sure that their wedding the music at the reception was phenomenal. So I went and talked to the DJ. He was from, out Schulenburg, LaGrange, that area.
Sure.
I said, make sure you get some Randy Rogers and some Wade Bowen. I give him all the names, and he goes, no, sir, I got it. I said, okay.
I trust you.
I
Yeah.
trust you. All right. So anyway, he kicked it off with, some Texas country music, and they were playing, and everyone's standing around, drinking my very cheap beer. And man, I bought so much beer, I bought every brand because they didn't have enough.
Man, that's my kind of party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're all standing around, no one's dancing or anything, and played another Texas country song. Everyone's standing around, and these are all A&M grads, recent A&M grads. So I'm thinking, well, what the heck's going on? This is A&M. I mean, the land of Texas country. That's
Sure.
that's where Roger Krager came from.
Dang right.
That's where back in the 70s.
Lyle Lovett, Rick Trevino, they all came from
and Earl
there.
King, Robert Earl King,
Granger Smith, yeah.
Granger Smith. And I was like, why is they not dancing? What is wrong with what did Texas A&M teach my daughter and her friends? And then they played some Post Malone, and the whole dance floor fills up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I've told a really long story to get to the point that rap music seems to have infiltrated the younger generations.
Sure.
And even when you see like some of Co Wetzel, who's one of the top Texas country guys, when you see some of his promos, it's not his music. He's using rap music in his promos online.
Sure.
So what kind of influence has rap music had in your music?
I tell you, I've learned to speak a little quicker than
Really?
what I used to. But
What about the rhyming?
Oh, the rhyme. I will admit. Now there's some pretty cool rhymes that I would have never put together in my own head. So but going down the road, all the guys in bands, we all have different musical backgrounds. So we've even got a rap guy in the group, and there's some rap songs that I really really like that I would have not ever listened to before. I will admit that. But I do know that like guys like Morgan Wallen that have
He's
R&B.
a Nashville country guy,
right? Morgan Wallen, but he uses a lot of R&B backtracks in his music. So, and that's a really big thing right now. And but you had mentioned about Cody Johnson earlier. One thing that I do appreciate about Cody Johnson and Randall King, and I'm glad to be able to call those guys friends, is they're bringing traditional country music back, and that's what I want to be able to do. And
you've been more of a traditional country guy.
That's right.
Your entire career.
That's right, with the fiddle and the steel guitar, and man, for me, words are everything. They really are. So as long as I'm able to get good words.
So you wouldn't consider putting like an R&B track behind one of your songs?
Hey,
Case Hardin raps?
I don't know. I got a few buddies out there that we might put him on there and see what he can do. And see, there's a old guy B3 that went out there and did some work on a guy in LA, I believe, and he's a local guy, and so I wouldn't count it out, but I don't know if
your genre is like the country. Anyway, looking at Case Hardin's number, he's rising on the chart because it has a little up arrow next to. We're looking at the CDX traction for Texas. Been there.
That's right.
Why don't we listen to that for a second just to see what it sounds like?
I know what it's like when your car won't start. I've been there. Then your cell phone won't work. Out where you are, honey, I've been there. Then AAA finally finds you, and the record gets lost, and you can't make it home till way after dark. Honey, I've been there. Just like last Tuesday, when you had to work late, well, honey, I've been there. And it's me all night, we had a day, honey, I've been there. No honey, don't worry, really it's okay, but ain't no need for you to try to explain, 'cause I know where you're coming from. I've been there myself. I followed you and him to that little motel. So say your prayer, I really don't care. I know where you're coming from. I've been there.
All right. So that was Been There, and what inspired you on that song? Obviously you wrote it, right?
Well, we had a hand in a lot of our songs on this new album we're putting out. We've been working on a brand new album, and so I had my hand in quite a few of them. And but Been There was actually written by Trent Willman, who's written some songs for Cody Johnson, and also is his main producer for Cody Johnson's records.
Did you have a hand in it, or did you like just pick it off? He hand you a cassette tape and say, "Hey, Case, I want you to record my song."
I wish it was old school cool like that, So, but and a man named Dickie Kaiser out of Fredericksburg, Texas, he actually had sent me the song, and my producer and I and my radio promoter had looked at it, Distribution had looked at it, and they said that's the lead single from this upcoming record.
Okay.
So that one, but on these other ones that we have coming up, I did have quite a hand in writing them. And
When are you when you release an album, you just kind of put it on Spotify, right?
well,
Pretty much.
if
I mean, you don't really go out and print 10 or 100,000
no.
CDs.
No. That's like I say, the old school cool way.
Yeah.
But I mean, CDs are still an option. But a thing that I really think is neat now, making a comeback, are vinyl records. And I think that is something.
So you're going to press a vinyl record on this new record?
Oh, I don't tempt me with a good time. I'll do anything, you know.
Really?
So
right.
but the main thing is, like you said, Spotify, Apple Music, get it out there to an online distributor.
Amazon Music.
Amazon Music. I'm an
So-
iPhone guy, so
Yeah.
I forget.
So when is your record going to, I guess, drop? Is that what you drop?
I'm gonna drop that
I
album.
mean, when are you going to upload your dang album?
So we're looking at summer. This summer we'll be dropping it.
So in your shows, are you playing some of your new music?
Oh, absolutely. And there's a lot of party songs in there. And one thing I did do on the last record is I had a lot of love songs, and on this one, man, there's nothing better than a sad country song. So I got some party songs, some sad country songs, and biggest thing of it all is I'm a rodeo guy. My family ranches here in San Angelo, and so I had to have some rodeo songs on this new album. So we're gonna do something really cool with the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo, and we're gonna.
What are you doing?
Well, we're going to have all of our cinema, all the cinema, all the photography, all the videographer. We're going to be doing it based around the San Angelo Rodeo.
So you're going to do a music video?
Doing a music video and doing press for the upcoming album.
Okay.
At the San Angelo Rodeo.
Are you playing at the Buffalo Social Club?
That's we shall see. But I do know that it's been a long standing deal is playing that last weekend.
Well, Case Hardin, since he knows so much about Texas music, so I'm just telling Justin and Josh, make sure you get the guy in the Buffalo Social Club. You might be able to get another $1 for the beer out there. I don't know if you
we'll see.
book the Case Hardin.
Thank you.
I said that, so don't hold it against him.
No, I was going to say Joe doesn't know it, but he's applying for a management job. So, but no, we're excited, and I've always wanted to do stuff based around San Angelo. It's my home, and the people are great here, and what San Angelo Live has done for San Angelo, I just want to be all inclusive in San Angelo the best way I can.
Good. All right, so what is? I mean, let's just look at this. I haven't looked at the charts in so long, and see I'm gonna have to get my glasses because I'm old. But I mean, like obviously, number one this week is "The Painter" by Cody Johnson.
Right.
So what do you think about Cody Johnson as far as his trajectory in the Texas music scene?
Oh, he in Texas music. As much as I'd like to see him stay, I know that Warner Nashville has him doing things that are, if he stops in Texas, he'll stop a couple of times. And the whole band are big friends of mine, and that's exactly what they say. They're working on overseas things, and
so they're going to France.
To France, yes. And if they go over there, I know it only makes sense. There's only so many days in a year. They're not going to be in Texas as much, and I get that. But it's good to see them grow. But I just don't see them playing the same old Texas circuit that we all get to play.
We've actually had Cody Canada on this show. And you see the Great Divide has set it all down. One of the things Cody did was he finally got the rights back to his music from Cross Canadian Ragweed. He was able to record a lot of that on a record last year. And that really opened up his shows, I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I really enjoy Great Divide stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
that's if you ask.
And that does say that he is the Great Divide, isn't he?
That on Cody, we're talking about. Well, I know with Cody Cross Canadian Ragweed, the Great Divide out of Oklahoma.
Yes.
My drummer Nathan Garcia, if you ask him what his favorite band of all time is, it's the Great Divide. So set it all down. I tell you, it's a great record. I've listened to their new stuff. It's a great.
That's McClure, right?
It is.
Yeah, McClure. And now I'm sorry, I'm getting all mixed up. McClure is Cody Canada's mentor and producer.
And McClure,
when he comes to San Angelo, he puts on the best show.
Really?
I mean, really, I've seen him 2 or 3 times here, both at Blaine's and at the Penny.
That's a bucket list thing for me, is to be able to play with those guys.
And you get him to play Floods. I mean, it's really good.
Like I say,
And
don't tempt me
you
with
have
a
to
good
excuse
time.
me. I've been so busy with politics, I can't even remember who these bands are. But anyway, Shane Smith and the Saints used to be a staple here in San Angelo.
That's right.
He played once a month here.
That's right.
And now he is broken out.
I know it. And with the help of Yellowstone.
Yes,
I know
Yellowstone.
that-
When are you going to get your song on Yellowstone? Well, I don't know if you're going to want it now because John Dutton's gone from Yellowstone.
And that kills me. I just started getting into Yellowstone during, I guess it was this past season, whenever they got done with it, and they stopped recording for a little bit, and I had just started getting into it. And now, the main character of it
Leave me
is
hanging.
gone. Yeah.
And then he goes and sues our local coffee company, old Mr. Taylor Sheridan. But anyway, I know they're friends now, so I can't say anything bad about, the Taylor Sheridan Coffee Company. John Wolfe is another one that's been popular in San Angelo.
Sure.
He's breaking out. So if I had a bar, he's running into their number 9. Of course, we all know Parker McCullum. If he just says, "Okay, I wrote the song," or he's going to go to the number 1.
Gold chain cowboy.
Yeah, and then we got the Case Hardin been there. But looking back, I mean, Kyle Park, he's been around a long time.
That's right.
He's there at number 16. Let me see if I can find another one in here that I've heard good things about. Man, what about Mike Ryan?
Oh, if you ask me, guys, who are you a fan of? I'm a big fan of Mike Ryan.
So
I
Mike
really
Ryan,
am.
go look him up on Spotify or Apple Music. He's at number 30 right now with "Way It Goes."
That's right.
Way It
That's right.
Goes. Man, I tell you what, the further we get down the list, I'm trying to find who do you think Uncle Lucius, is he going to be the next breakout guy?
Man, I don't know. Uncle Lucius, I honestly, it's been a while since I've heard that name. I was in college the last time.
Last time he was in there?
Uncle
Yeah.
Lucius. But yeah, no, it's great to see him out there. And Ty Smith, I know Ty personally and he's on the chart at the bottom. Ty's a good guy, good kid. And that's the thing. It's hard to find guys on the charts that are younger than me, but Ty is that. I think Ty's 15. So
You remember back in 2011, Casey Musgraves and Josh Abbott sang that duet.
that's right. I remember.
And they have a video of them sitting in some, today you call it a woke restaurant in Austin, right? And it's like they just started singing and playing, and everyone's holding up their iPhone 3s.
Right.
Yeah. Back then you had iPhone 3s, right?
Classic cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're singing, and it's a beautiful song. Oh, Tonight, I
Right.
think is what it is. But women, and Casey Musgrave obviously has gone through the stratosphere.
Sure.
But women from the Texas country music thing, like we have this new one here. I haven't heard her yet, but she's got a song called Neon. It's rising fast at number 43, named Michaela Lane.
Oh yeah, Michaela Lane. Yeah, she did very well at the there was a Texas Country Music Awards just this past, I believe it was October, and she did very well out there. So she is on the rise, and so Michaela Lane and her family has rodeoed, so a lot of similarities there, and they're great people, and they put out great music. So I love to see that.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to kind of go through some of these people and see what you thought of them and give some people some ideas as far as what they can put on their Spotify playlist.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course, put Case Hardin number 1 for Been There.
Dang right.
And,
we'll be pushing for that number 1. But no, there's so many great artists playing Texas music right now,
Mm-hmm.
and talking about the next big thing. That's kind of the cool thing is you never really
And we
know.
don't really know who the next big thing
That's
is.
right.
The
That's
last big thing was probably Parker McCullum, wouldn't you say?
I'd say so. He and we got to play with him at several rodeos, and then like the fan base going to see what we would play for with him, and then now he's at stadium shows, at Coliseum shows,
Right.
which is huge, and so. Being able to see him grow and explode in
make
the music scene.
and make it from the Texas country music circuit.
That's right. And you love it. That's what all of us aspire to do is get out there and perform to anybody we can.
At least until you're 40, then you go to law school.
40, 45, 50, it grows every year.
All right. This is Case Hardin. He's a Texas country music performer and artist and songwriter and singer. You can catch him. Where's the next time you can catch him in San Angelo?
Next time we're playing in San Angelo, we're actually playing this weekend at the Penny. So we don't play in San Angelo very often.
So that is the Penny Bar and Big Grill It's at 2412 South College, or not South College Hills, 2412 College Hills.
You got it. See, and we won't be back until looks like the San Angelo Rodeo.
And the rodeo will be the first 3 weeks of April.
April, that's right. And so we'll be around, and then again for a whole nother year. We always get asked, when do you play in San Angelo next? And I like sleeping in my own bed, but we always got to get down that road.
Well, Case Hardin, thank you for coming on our show today.
Thank you
really
for having
appreciate
me.
it. It was a great interview. And like I said, you guys go check out some of this Texas country music on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, where else?
Everywhere.
Back to the studio.
Talking about being a conservative is easy, especially come election time. But delivering actual conservative results is very different. As your state representative, I'm proud to have passed the strongest state-led border security bill in the nation, the largest property tax cut in Texas history, and more school safety funding to protect our children. These aren't campaign talking points, they're real conservative results, delivered. I'm Drew Darby, and I'm asking for your vote to keep up this important work.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Kano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
What a fun show. Thanks for watching the only locally owned live news show in the Concho Valley. We really appreciate your feedback, especially in the comments section and letters to the editor. Thanks again for making San Angelo Live the #1 news source in the Concho Valley. We're looking forward to bringing you all the news again throughout this year. First, as always, have a great evening, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.